Greetings, manifestors of miracles. This is Taliba Asset, your soul therapist and guide on this journey that we're taking through the science of happiness. And in my first lecture, I told you guys that we are going to be working on peeling away the layers that are blocking you from tapping into your own internal source of happiness. Now, the first layer we're going to start to deal with is desire. And the reason that we really need to pull that layer away or peel that layer away first is because, one, it is the outermost, the furthest removed from your layer, and it is the layer of external influence. Now, what usually makes us unhappy is this focusing on a lack of something. We focus on something that we don't have. We think we need it and we don't have it, so we're unhappy. And there's this constant need to reach out or to chase after or to go after or to, get more of whatever this thing is that we're not having that's going to make us happy. And in our society, we're constantly inundated with messages that there's something that we should have. There's something according to society that we should have. So what happens is that most of the desires that we find within ourselves or we find ourselves having are really planted from outside of us rather than radiating from within us. Even the Buddha once said that desire is the root of all suffering, or the root of all suffering is desire. Now, Buddha was not saying that desire in and of itself is a bad thing. What Buddha was saying is that there's this feeling that we constantly need something else. We constantly feel that we don't have enough. And so there's always something that we need to buy or something that we got to get or something that we need in order to be happy. So the first thing I want to say, that if you take nothing else away from this lecture, is that then get that you already have everything you need, as well as the power to choose right now to be happy, regardless of what your external circumstances are, regardless of what you do or don't have, regardless of what the current reality is. You have the power to choose this moment right now to be happy. So where do we get all of these influences? We get them from our parents growing up, get them from our teachers at school, get them from our environment. Companies are constantly marketing, and they spend billions of dollars, they invest billions of dollars in the war for the part of your brain that tells you to buy something. That's just the way it is. So over time, you're inundated with these ads. Everywhere you turn, you got an ad for this, that, and the other thing. And so you begin to desire them, or at least you think you want them. Companies are investing millions of dollars into the area of psychology. For instance, Disney and supermarkets now are investing in sprayers that stimulate certain sensory impulses to create desire so they can boost their sales. And for the majority of us, and probably all of us, I would venture to say, we just can't fight that. That's the way it is. You can't fight these millions of dollars that people are spending to manipulate you into buying stuff. But what you can do is you can consciously limit how these things outside of you influence you. And that's done by getting very clear about what it is that you desire. Another thing that's really big is belongingness. We want to belong. We want to fit in. We want to look like everybody else. We want to wear the latest clothes. We want to wear the stylish shoes. We want to do what other people are doing. Well, one example of that, a really subtle example too, is this whole positive thinking movement. So we jump on this bandwagon and say we're going to think positive and change our lives. Which all the gurus are now saying, think positive, just got to think positive. Buy all these books. And now their whole community is built around thinking positive. Well, the thing is, thinking positive is not a bad thing. The thing about the way that it's presented and the way it's being sold and packaged is that positive thinking in and of itself does nothing to really affect change. For instance, if your house is on fire, positive thinking is not going to save your house. You need water. Call the fire department. They're who to call. Positive thinking is not going to dial 911 and call the fire department. You have to do that. If you got weeds in your garden, same thing. The weeds got to get out. Somebody's got to go out there and do it. It's just positive thinking is just not going to do it. It's just the physical unreality. It can't happen. It's scientifically impossible. Positive thinking will not move your hand to the weeds. You have to go over there and do it. And that is the same situation as when we have major issues in our life. When we have major issues in our lives, we need to be able to take the steps to release those and then to create a different reality. Just like, doing stuff like listening to this lecture, going through the worksheets, actually doing the deep inner work that's going to help you to release those things that are causing the issue, and then to consciously begin to create what it is that you desire. And so, I do have a worksheet that I posted, and that worksheet is designed to help you begin to get clear about your desires, what they are, and why. Another example I want to give you about how your desires you can think you want something that you really don't really want is winning the lottery. A lot of people believe I'm going to win the lottery, and when I win the lottery, I'm going to be happy. But according to statistical data, suicide rates go up with lottery winning, depression rates go up, and most people who win the lottery usually are broke again and bankrupt within 2 years. Usually people who win the lottery are worse off after they win than they were before. Now, you might say, why does that happen? It doesn't make sense. Well, actually, it does make sense because what they lacked was a solid foundation. They did not have that rooting system that grounded them in the understanding that no matter what's going on around you, you can be in a state of peace and happiness. So they lacked that. Now, if you are grounded and rooted in that understanding and that realization, then you could actually win the lottery and be abundant and feel abundant. But what actually usually happens is that people win the lottery. They think, I won this lottery. I'm about to be happy now. And that the winning of the money in and of itself is going to make them happy. And when that fails to happen, then it creates other issues because now they're saying, well, I have millions and millions of dollars that I won. I have all this money, but I'm still not happy. Something must be wrong with me. That is because what they're doing is they're looking at happiness from a place of desire. That hedonistic happiness, that I'm happy because of something that's outside of me. It's kind of like a drug addiction. You get what you need to be happy, then it wears off, and then you got to get more, and you got to get more, and you got to get more. And it's problematic because you constantly have to keep getting more. You constantly have to feed the need. And it's unhealthy. It's just not healthy. Because whatever it was that you needed, thought you needed, whatever it is that's outside of you that you think you need to be happy, is not what you need to be happy. It is what society told you that you needed to be happy, but it wasn't what you needed to be happy. So, what you learn how to do to be happy is you learn how to push away those influences. You learn how to push those things away and begin to ask yourself, what is going to create my happiness? What do I want? And why do I want it? Because you should be the one that defines what your desire, what your happiness looks like, and what it's going to take to create it in your own life. You should be the authority on that. And if you can learn to do that, what you're going to find is that you're able to achieve things, the things that you desire, and you're able to gain and accomplish these things and still remain unattached. Because it's non-attachment that's really the key. It's the key in creating lasting happiness. So setting intentions that's a good thing. Working toward goals, that's awesome. Taking action, wonderful. Being unattached is what allows you the freedom to be able to redefine yourself in case once you learn something and once you get clear about something, you find that what you thought you wanted wasn't really what you wanted. Then you're able to realign. And so being non-attached is what allows you to be able to redefine. And redefine is what's freedom. You can change your idea of what happiness or your definition of what happiness is. Being unattached and simplistic in your understanding and your acceptance of outcomes allows you to find joy and happiness in really small things because you're not driven by desire. So as you begin to look through the worksheet and start to work through that, and your objective as with the worksheet, the objective is to really look at your desires, to define them, and to look at why you want those things that you think you want. And if there are legitimate wants and desires, then fine, keep them. That's great. But if you happen to find that they don't hold water or they are not really what you desire, if you find that your desires, when you get to digging down deeper, you find that those desires really don't align with you because you don't know where the heck you got that from, then it's really time to release them and to find and replace them with what truly is what you want. And with that, I'm complete. I am going to say peace, power, and prosperity. Go ahead and look at the worksheet. If you can't find the worksheet, please reach out to me so that I can help you find it. We're going to be staying with this layer of desire for the rest of the week. And I'll be posting more stuff around it. That I am complete. You have an awesome day, night, or whenever you're listening to this. And we will catch up. This is Taliba said. Good night. I'm out.